comes to a snack pack, I can't lie. I wanna ride.
How did you get my phone? I mean, if you've been anywhere on the internet, you will know Miguel O'Hara's face. Or maybe rather his ass. But he's so much more than just a man with angst as large as his breasts. Spider-Man 2099 is an anti-hero. And Sony really took show, not tell, to a whole new level with how they wrote Miguel. Fuck, that rhymed. Bro is quoted in the show saying how he's the singular person holding together the entire Spider Society operation after the incident with Kingpin. How he single-handedly has been, or at least he perceives it to be this way, shouldering the responsibility of managing the entire fucking Spider-Verse. And if there's one thing that Spider-Verse gets right, it's making relatable characters. The biggest pitfall of stuff like the saving the world trope is that it seems so far out of reach that the audience fails to connect with the motivations of the cast. However, Miguel O'Hara does not have this problem, because he is grounded in a feeling that most of us could probably relate to extremely well. Imagine this. If you've ever been the sole person doing work in a failing group project, desperately trying to salvage something and keep the whole train wreck together, then you know exactly what position Miguel is in. Throughout the entire film, he's volatile, always snapping and throwing things, reacting quickly with violence. I think when Miles first enters the secret base, he meets Miguel and says something about dealing with the Spot, and Miguel just smolders coolly before launching the cafeteria empanada at Miles. Yes, it was hella cool for an introduction, but more than that, it gives us an immediate understanding of his character, because we've all felt that anger of managing something that is so much larger than just one person. Not only that, but partially also because of the frustration that comes with controlling something that shouldn't be ours to command. Hence why Miguel is such an anti-hero, more on that later. He constantly seems to be on edge. And small things send him into a brief moment, a spark of pent-up rage before he cools down and sort of composes himself again. So towards the end of the movie where he's chasing after Miles, he's just careening out of control, spiraling into this animal madness, and it is so liberating to see because this man has probably kept it inside for so fucking long. Every little moment where he had flared up anticipated the moment where he just goes fucking apeshit. His role as the manager of the Spider-Verse also goes really well with his position as the anti-hero of the film. I'm not 100% positive what direction Beyond the Spider-Verse will take with developing Miguel, but it seems like what with Gwen assembling her band to stand up against Miguel and defend Miles, that they're really pitting him up to be connected strongly with Miles' character. Miguel taking up his role to control the canon because of the guilt he has from destroying the universe where he had a family, it's self-destructive. The movie really goes to show how Miguel is an antagonist of sorts by literally having multiple instances disproving his universe theory. Peter having Mayday after meeting Miles, Gwen's dad quitting the force, that one quote from Peter's wife making an analogy to halftime shows and how there's no playing by the book when it comes to being Spider-Man, and also how this behavior is affecting Miguel himself. I'm personally hoping for a "we're not so different, you and I" moment where Miguel has to face how he himself has not found what it meant to be Spider-Man. Though that's probably going to go down between Earth 42 Miles, aka Prowler Miles, and our Miles Morales, or between the Spot and him. But here's kind of what I mean. It's so ironic that he's the one who controls the Spider-Verse, because he's like the most anti-Spider-Man Spider-Man. Miguel is even called out in the show by Peter, I think, to be the serious one of all the Spider-Men, who throughout every variant is the comic relief character. But Miguel is just stoic, very well put together. He's the de facto leader, a role that Spider-Man has never really played, at least to my knowledge. He stands out in the movie for not being very Spider-Man at all, not only with how he behaves, but also with his entire design. The claws, which Miles can also be quoted, "Dude, are you sure you're even Spider-Man?" and Techno Suit, lending him most of his powers. I believe he was also never bit by a spider, the one trait that literally trademarks Spider-Man. And I hope his character gets to develop alongside Miles, who is also growing into the Spider-Man mantle as they both find what it means to them. Of course, I'm not trying to defend his behavior, but based on see all of the above, it's easy for us to recognize why he feels justified. But also, get real for a moment. Are you really gonna bash me for my take over the actions of a fictional character? Throughout the movie, Miguel's character has been entirely show, not tell. The violent outbursts, the ill-suited fate, it's all so well written. I'm not really sure if I got my point across. I don't even know what my point was, to be honest. And I for sure don't have anything revolutionary to add to the reviews about Across the Spider-Verse. Everything about the incredible animation and soundtrack has probably already been said by people far more qualified than I am. I just really like how his character was handled, and I wanted to share my thoughts about it. Bonus, his titties are fat.